Hello there, everyone. Welcome to an episode you don't want to watch. It's gonna be. I'm just gonna play as Isaac and go through it. I'm gonna talk about stuff going on. None of it's gonna be good, and I'm going to make people upset with me, most likely. Ooh, holy mantle. So, with what I want to say for this is I will clarify first, just in case anyone has a shadow of a doubt. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional. I don't understand some things. These are my opinions. Could they be wrong? Absolutely. If shown more information, I am happy to change my opinions. All that stuff. If you already know where this is going, if you're watching this newish, or at least what the main topic is about our big, the pandemic. It is a serious issue. I will never argue that it wasn't a big issue. As of the day I'm recording this, May 1st, the governor of Maine decided to quadruple down on the lockdown. No matter what, make it harsher. Make it more severe. So, keep it in mind. Like I said, maybe I don't have all the information and there's some magical golden nugget of truth that I just don't know where it is. But, no. Absolutely. The biggest thing is, for me, personally, is that I truly feel the country needed to shut down because the estimates were at 200. Nope, the estimates were not at that. That's the switch. The estimates are at 2 million people dying. Which I don't believe there is literally anything in the United States which kills 2 million people a year. That is absolutely ludicrous numbers. It is insane. It must be taken seriously because we have no clue what's going on. Because we didn't know. It's been a month. We have a lot more information. And these are numbers that I have been told. Some of them I have looked up. Some of them I have not been told. But the either CDC or WHO, I do not remember which one. Because they constantly get, like, put together for a lot of the things I see. So it is one of them that I saw it on. It was a switch, and this could be a Berenstain Bear thing. I haven't gone to look up the things that it said that was 2 million versus 100,000. I do not say this lightly. I don't want anyone to die. Death sucks. It's not good. It's bad. I don't like it. I don't want it happening. It's terrible. I can't stress that enough. And I know that there are a lot of people who are like, shut the fuck up right now. Because you want everyone to be dead. Because this has brought out the worst in everyone, I feel. I don't feel anyone has, because of this incident, really gotten better. I feel like most people have gotten worse in a variety of ways, but I'm specifically talking about what has happened overall with this. So that's it feels poopy to like even have to bring it up at all. I just want to like re-emphasize, like, if anyone who's been harmed by this or anything like that, you know, you have my condolences. That's fat load of good that does. I know. I can offer you nothing else but my condolences. I wish literally everyone the best, and I want this to go away literally as fast as humanly possible. No, faster than that. Scientifically possible. Faster than that. I don't know. I want it gone. I would love if it disappeared tomorrow, and I made this video, and everyone's like, dude, what are you talking about? You're a dummy. None of this matters anymore. Love it. I would love it. Please. Please. But in the meantime, it exists, and take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. I'm frustrated at things, as literally everyone is. I'm going through more things. The medication I need, I have to go talk to my doctor about it. My doctor's office is not considered essential. It's a clinic. So, let's leave that for now. These are some of the reasons why I'm extra upset about these issues. As an example, this is a posed example. I know that there is demonizing going on towards the United States. If you want to do that, dude, more power to you. Do whatever the hell you want. Really don't like this item. I'll take that item. You have every right to do, say, believe whatever you want. That's fine. Just as I have a right to say whatever I want. If we take, as an example, if we take the country of Sweden, it has approximately 10 million people living in it. The landmass of Sweden is approximately 170,000 square miles. Or kilometers, just in case. I know it's 170. I'm going to say it's miles. I'm almost certain that's what I looked up just a couple days ago, because I had someone making a big deal about this to me. Talking about how terrible everything about the United States is being a U.S. citizen. Complaining about it. Because of all the cards and drops itself. No. Once again, you have every right to believe, say, feel, however you want. I will not insult you. I will question why that is a belief, and leave it at that. Sometimes I will try to fight to mostly understand and kind of check your hypocrisy levels on multiple things. I do this frequently when questioning someone about more serious issues. Because a lot of the times in issues, so as an example, a very quick example, tipping. I don't believe tipping should be a mandatory thing. Does it exist? Absolutely. Do we do it? Absolutely. Am I all of a sudden gonna never tip anyone just to spite them? No. But if your argument is that they've done a job and should receive extra money for it than what they're getting paid, you need to be consistent and be willing to offer that money to everyone who is doing an above and beyond job, or you're being hypocritical. And I will say, just going above and beyond, not arguing how much someone gets paid. We're just talking about if someone would deserve extra, which is what the concept of a tip is. I was speaking with someone, and I was wildly impressed because, and I'm going to take what they said at face value. They said that they tip anyone doing an exceptional job, whether they're a gas station attendant, a server, sales clerk, a delivery boy, or delivery driver, I guess I should say. Any of those. He tips. I have nothing but respect for that. That's awesome. Because ultimately, his argument has more validity to me. And that's kind of where I'm going with this. With the pandemic, we shut down because we do not want people dead. Obviously, people dying sucks. It's stupid, especially the more avoidable a death is, the worse and worse it is to let happen. And we need to work to stop it. You know, I am going to pull out a couple straw man arguments. I'll fully admit they are. Take them for what you see. The biggest thing about the pandemic is that I have noticed myself, I will admit, I don't like boils. Who does? That I have personally noticed a ridiculous random responsibility tiers. I will track, but no. Sure. So it's a very serious thing. And the point is to avoid death. Awesome. The death numbers that are presented, is they want to avoid it. This is my biggest strong arm argument, and I understand it may not hold much validity to you, and that's perfectly fine. This is just an example of like one of the things that I feel. The people who are at most risk are the ones who need to be careful, not necessarily everyone. Now I know I'm not just trying to shift blame, put blame on whoever or what, but in almost all situations, we leave it up to individuals to decide how they feel, what risks they're willing to take. And in this, we do not allow that choice. Smoking kills a lot of people. I don't have the numbers. It kills a lot of people, or having major problems, something like that. Smoking hurts people a lot. We don't care because it's our right to smoke. Okay? Not saying I want this to happen. Let me emphasize that very, very clearly. One of the biggest arguments is that we don't want it to happen. Sorry, we don't want it taken away from us because we want to smoke. And I understand that. Like, I don't really want a bunch of people constantly telling me what I can or can't do. Period. I'm very stubborn that way, personally. So we have a big problem with that. But that kills lots of people. We don't care. But it was because it was their choice. And this is what I'm trying to say, is if you want to end your own life, that's illegal. But why is encouraging it doing something like actively harmful to your body that leaves more lasting results. And you can even throw in gluttonous eating. So it's not just I'm attacking, you know, smoking or something. You throw in gluttonous eating. So, you know, mass gluttony, eating to the point of being sick. Getting type 1 diabetes when it wasn't a... Sometimes it is just a bad thing that causes it, or can. Sometimes it's just you refuse to watch your weight and just eat. And eat, and eat, and eat, and eat, and eat. You don't eat healthy. Getting excessively fat. To obese. To you can't walk. You can... The 700-pound show thing. We allow that. Nothing stops us from doing that, because it's, you know, let people make their own decisions. Even though that does affect others. Because the ultimate thing about, like, a mask, for example, is... to prevent you from giving it to someone, not to prevent getting it. Obviously, there is a degree of literally any form of protection helps you. Excellent. It just may not be, it's just not the most effective, necessarily. I'm not saying I know what is or isn't, but it's, it's something, I'm going to say this wrong, but it's something to do with, like, the air particles. So a mask that would protect you from it would need to be like I don't know, like 0.2 millimeter holes in it, and like the ones that we have are not even close to that. So we allow certain risks and we don't allow others, no matter how dangerous or bad or stupid we think they are. One of the risks that we don't allow, and I'll preface, I'm not sure if it's actually illegal, but doing drugs when you're pregnant, like drinking mass alcohol and smoking cigarettes. I think it's illegal because it's child endangerment, but I could be wrong. So take that with a grain of salt. Sure. I don't actually know what this does. Yeah, like I said, take it with a grain of salt. I think it is, but if I'm wrong, I'll even if someone, you don't even need to like super hard prove me. If someone's like, no, it's actually not, it's just highly frowned upon or whatever, fine, I'll admit I'm wrong, because I don't know. I'm pretty sure it is, or at least it is in some states. I think it is here. May not in others. That's fine. Kind of not, but that's fine. But we don't give the choice. One of the ways that I think may have been an interesting way to handle the shutdown would be like anyone who wants to, who feels uncomfortable, and is yeah, so anyone who feels uncomfortable can go on unemployment as a basically as a medical leave act, and there will be no repercussions, and they will receive what the standard unemployment would be, or benefits, whatever. And I think that would be interesting, because then it would put it, and even to that, prevent people from evicting, because I think that's awesome. It protects people. Sure. Poo-poo head. Because I think those are cool things that they've done. Or have been done, however you want to word it. But then having it so that if someone is willing to take that risk, they can work. Because, I don't know. It just seems interesting to me about that. Now, the reason I bring this up, because I'm willing to admit, even before then, awesome, needed to be done, we needed to take care of that. I'll bring up the Sweden thing in just a second, because I got super off track about that. But it needed to be done. It was very serious. No one knew what the hell was going on. Period. Very, very serious. And some of the information we're being provided is not accurate. I will provide this as anecdotal evidence. But some of the tests that were provided here were literally just thrown in the trash before checking them, testing them. Now, could be a lot of factors on that. You never know. But some areas are not providing accurate information. If someone died of an unrelated illness, but there was a smidgen of doubt that they could have had the illness, it's just classified as them having it. Drop all your soul hearts on the ground. I don't agree with that. That's wrong. Because it leads to false panic. It's not a good thing. I've spoken with a couple people about it, and they feel that government officials, a lot of them have done this very, very poorly, handling it. And I won't say I disagree, but we do need to be aware of what's actually being said, not what is being pushed towards us. And I know that's a very unfavorable statement to make in a lot of ways, but because when we're provided something by what is supposed to be something reliable, even just in general life, like when you're a little kid, if your dad tells you something, you believe it. Because why would he lie? Why would government officials lie? Aren't they trying to help us? They'll lie every other part of the year because everyone's corrupt as hell. But why are they lying, now during such a major issue? So there's so much to it. That's why I will never pretend I understand everything. As an example, this is why I brought up Sweden, because Sweden is approximately 170,000 miles. Square miles is what all of Sweden is, and all of Sweden has about 10 million people. New York City alone has about 8.5 roughly, so they're close. We're gonna, for argument's sake, call them the same, because it's pretty close and it fits what the statement is about. And if you don't want to believe it that way, that's perfectly fine. So this I may be wrong about, but I believe New York City has more corona cases than all of Sweden does. And people look at that and they're like, one city versus an entire country. They're about the same size. Sorry. The big difference is landmass. There's more to things than just the number of people. Sweden is huge. Absolutely massive. New York is not. It is 300 square miles. So 300, let's call it 500. It's 340 times smaller and than Sweden. And that's nothing against Sweden. It's nothing against New York. In fact, there are pros and cons to New York. The pro is that people are less likely to get lost in the, like, not having access to medical care in a general sense because it's closer. Everything is closer. It's one city and everything's closer in that sense. In another sense, positive towards Sweden, is that because it's so much larger, things are spread out, which creates a different level of safety. So there are pros and cons to all of it. I don't believe that's where it's supposed to go, but I don't remember. But if you're like, wow, Sweden's handling this much better to a peer-to-peer thing, that's stupid. Wow, the United States is doing such a bad job. Sweden only has, I don't know, I'm just going to say, 1,000 deaths, and the United States has 100,000 deaths. It doesn't. But it has 50,000 deaths. I think it's close to like 50-ish right now. Something like that. I don't know. Or is it like, I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it's 30 times larger. So within reason, the number should be 30 times higher. Ignoring medical, bunch of different, factors. If we're just talking about, if you're only going to talk about the people in it, it should literally be 30 times higher. There's 30 times more people. Makes sense to me. Maybe I'm not the most educated person on that. I know there are a lot of factors, but just on people alone, it makes sense that there would or would not be more victims. The more people, the more potential victims there are. Is that good? Fuck no. Absolutely not. That's why, like, I can't stress enough. Now, as an example, Maine's huge. I think Maine's like 60,000 square miles, something like that. Maine's really big. It's a big state. The governor of Maine has enforced, now this is what I was told. I heard it on the news. It was my local news. I think it was like channel 22. I don't know what the news station is, 'cause I never watch the news. So keep in mind, maybe I'm full of shit and I don't know. And if I am, and there's like more proof, I will eat crow immediately and correct myself. I did not go the direction I wanted to. Excuse me. But what I heard is that we have some of the strictest, regulations going on right now in the United States. In Maine, we have approximately 1.3 million people. Spread out, it's very sparse. Literally, the largest city is, I'm gonna take it because it's funny. The largest city is, I think, 50,000 people. I think it's actually less, but let's say 50,000. That's nowhere in comparison to other cities, other states, other whatever. So we're pretty spread out. The, like, almost just like plain demonizing nature of like all this stuff has been, I guess it's fine because I can just do this. Ooh, cows. So, yeah. We big. We chonky. Big chonky state. The numbers may not be the most up to date, but we had less than 1,000 cases, period, and less than 50 deaths. And the governor is saying, let's shut it down even more. Take away more things from citizens. Now it is mandatory to wear a mask to go out in public spaces. I don't agree with that, because the mask is designed to protect you from spreading it to others, not protect yourself. That's how masks work. I think that getting a mask culture up of, like, sick people wearing masks, maybe this is just an anime thing. Maybe it isn't. But in Japan, I believe that it is common that if you're sick, you put on a mask. If that is the case, I would love it if we would adopt that literally as fast as humanly possible, because that's awesome. I don't like sickos coughing at me. It's gross. I don't like it. I don't like anyone coughing at me, but you're taking the precaution as the sick person to make sure other people don't get sick. Are there going to be people who won't do it? Yeah. There are people who break laws all the time. Doesn't matter. I don't think it should be a law. That'd be stupid. I just would like to see people do that. It'd be cool. It would eliminate sicknesses. It's the same thing like get a vaccine. It helps reduce your chance of getting the flu, and lots of people don't get the vaccine. That's fine. In a way, just don't bitch to me if you get the flu. That actually made this one a lot worse. No. Ugh. Players get champion enemy effects. Copy. So long, sucker! And yes, I am going to abandon it. I just want Guppy's head. I like Guppy's head. So, yeah, in Maine we've had 50 deaths. That's it. And the governor is like, hey, stricter rules. Now, for those of you who don't know about the business term, the black and the red. Red means you are like below your... Red means you owe money, black means you're making money. Basically. That's what it is. Because it's just like your budget and everything. The black is positive, the red is negative. So, the state of Maine went in the black with our last governor. That's awesome. I don't know a damn thing about him as a governor, because I don't really care about politics. And then, chance to turn enemies into pure light. Pure light will orbit the... Cool. Unlimited knowledge. And then, when they went in, we had a pretty good rainy day fund, like maybe let's say like $1 million, which is like honestly not much for an entire state. But we had a rainy day fund. That was gone within like the first 2 months. Where did it go? I know where it went. In the fact of like it was just people constantly pushing what they believe and whatever. But our governor, the one who would have control over it, made it disappear. She was not responsible in how she should have handled things. In my opinion. There's a chance maybe it was some kind of, I don't know, I'm not even gonna make a hyperbole about it. But we lost it all. It was all spent on something, and I don't remember what it is. I was not what we needed. Because it's not like there's been some major, massive, wonderful improvement that you would use literally the rainy day fund for. Oh, also there was no rainy day thing. This does not go away because of Corona. So, yeah, sure. This was gone in January, like. I'm gonna say it was gone by February, probably. If you want, check my facts, or don't believe me, that's fine. So, it is May 1st, and we need to start opening up things because companies are shutting down. And you argue, and I understand this. I truly do hear it. I don't want anyone suffering or anything. More people die of smoking than died of this. And I know this is a different issue. So if you don't want to believe that argument, that's fine. More people die of the flu. Because this is, volatile as the flu? No, it's more volatile. But people are losing their jobs. Or, sorry, not, well, okay, they already lost their job. But people are losing, oops. Their businesses. And I know that there is a level of fuck people who have businesses. And that's sometimes I'm in that category, sometimes I'm not. I won't pretend like I'm some noble man who has never said something stupid. But Tim's tackle box is not the big corporate evil that Walmart would be. So don't compare the two. It makes you look kind of stupid. And I understand. I'm fully willing to admit some people probably think I look really stupid talking about this at all. I feel stupid because I shouldn't be bringing it up, period. But I am stupid and I am talking about it. So, but our state has been shut down like even harder, and it's very frustrating because, you know, small businesses are suffering. And, like, the big argument is, like, just get a loan. Or that's, like, one of the ways. You have to pay back the loan money. If your business wasn't doing well before, are you going to accrue more debt? Being open is what would save you. A loan just puts a shallow band-aid on. That's not what magically fixes your business. Like, you do need money, but you need to be open first. You can't borrow your way out of debt, is the saying. Or is a common saying. So, it was on national television about our governor of Maine. I won't say her name just to be polite. But the governor of Maine, yeah, let's get the orbitals. Full. Yeah, so the governor of Maine kind of dug that hole. And it's very frustrating. To then, I think, this is what I'm the most unsure of. But if you're caught without a mask in a public setting, there's probably like a one warning thing. I don't know. Obviously, like laws, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. But a lot of the times people will give you leeway, which is awesome. In a lot of things, obviously, like violent crimes, the leeway is when you were 6 and you accidentally hit someone. Or sorry, you were mad and hit someone. There's no longer that leeway. But what the fine is, $1,000 for being caught not wearing a mask. Why do I have to wear a mask? I don't have it, and I'm willing to accept the consequences if I do get it. Why do I have to wear a mask? Will I? Fuck yeah. I'm not giving the government $1,000. They just gave it to me. It's mine. And one of the this is a very cynical approach. This is not, you know, to the point that I don't think governments can do things right a lot of the time. Excuse me, hold on. But I don't believe governments can do things right. A lot of the time is Wouldn't it be a great way for the economy to recoup money if they just took the money that was used to keep people's families safe back from them for arbitrary reasons? Makes perfect sense to me. Because a fine does not need to be paid right now. You can always delay the cost of a fine. Like, hey, within 6 months you have to pay $1,000, once you're back at work. Now they've recouped almost all their money. So, do I actually believe the conspiracy theory? No. The one I just made up on the spot? No. But that's an absorbent amount of money, and I get it. Like, well, it has to be, because people won't listen to it then. Why does it need to be a thing? Just my opinion. In New York City, I don't really have a problem with those things. New York City, I believe, was literally the worst off in the entire United States. I think it's the most tightly packed as well, which makes sense. That's how these things happen. Tightly packed areas are the ones hit the worst. So I don't have a problem if that was enforced in New York City. In the entire state of Maine, where there are cities, towns, that have less people than were afflicted by the virus in their population, and there was less than 1,000 afflicted. One of the nearby towns that to where I live has a population of 1.2 thousand people. 1,000. I have more followers on Twitch than one of the towns near me has residents. And that town is supposed to be held to a stricter standard than New York City. That's bullshit. My opinion on it. It's very frustrating because I do know that there is a lot of polarization that goes on. Good lord. Sure. Because some people think that you're just trying to be callous and no one's life matters except for your conveniences, and I don't believe that. It has been a month and a half. I believe my state, I think, was shut down on the 15th of March. So all of April's gone by. It's 15 days, so it's 45 days. Thus, month and a half. The less knowledge we have, the more we need to handle it. And we also didn't want to overload medical systems. I've heard that they're fine. We didn't even use the ones. We didn't run out of anything once we got the procedures in place. And that's awesome. And I know that the Spanish flu is what is brought up to me constantly. Because, honestly, I just want my medicine. I can't get it because I have to talk to my doctor to get my prescription redone. Basically, my doctor's like, hey, you need a year checkup just so I can make sure that everything's fine. And my year checkup was supposed to be, like, let's say April. I don't remember. It was coming up. It was supposed to be soon. I was going to call my doctor. Because, no, I had to miss one of the appointments because I was busy. Had to help my mom with something. Doesn't matter. I had to miss an appointment. So I couldn't make that one, and I didn't have time to reschedule then. But then when I found out that my prescription was denied, I was going to call. But, because I had like 10 days left. And I've been on it for almost a year. Call the doctor. They're like, yeah, okay, it's done. You're good. That's how it works. Because it's not an addictive, it's depression medication. No one takes that record. No one I know takes that recreationally. I don't think it does anything. The side effects makes you depressed. Affects your sexual performance. this is generic possibilities. It can affect your sexual performance. It can give you anxiety while your brain's readjusting to it. It can make you drowsy, but it's not even like it makes you sleepy. Just you could get drowsy randomly out of nowhere. So, yeah, there's like literally no redeeming factor if you were taking it as a recreational thing. So, that's kind of, I don't know. I don't even know why. I just, I don't know. I guess, like, I want you guys to know who I am. There's no fucking reason I should have brought this up at all. But hey, guess what? I did. Can always stop the recording, but meh. 46 minutes in. I try to be as real as I can be. As a person. Because I want people to, you know, think I'm genuine, know I'm genuine, however you want to word it. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. If you don't agree with me, honestly, I think I would rather have you hate me now than all of the sudden get pissy at me for no reason in the future. And I've had people do this, that like the 2016 election. I had people on the stream drop by and they're like, hey, tell me who you voted for. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. Well, I need to know if you disagree with my opinions. What does it matter who I voted for? It's not like I did a disgusting act that you would want to unfollow. Voted. And I mean, I don't talk about it too much. I will tell you exactly who I voted for. I accidentally slept in too long and forgot to. That's who I voted for. Ta-da! But, and that was, you know, pick your battles. You need to pick your battles. If he was going to unfollow me because I did not vote the way he wanted, I do not want him there anymore. They're not worth having around at all. That's disgusting. It's not like I made this big statement about how or anything. There was nothing controversial. It was exclusively, I don't want to tell you who I voted for. Because in 2016, I cared even less about politics. I picked a stance on it, but it doesn't matter. If that was the only reason, and it's, I can't support someone whose opinion might be different than mine. I don't know about you. Okay, this video, absolutely. I need to shut the fuck up and just have fun with videos. Stop talking about this shit. You're correct. Thank you, my friend. You brought up some excellent points. I should at least not talk about politics. I am losing my mind over this because, like, I have to... If you didn't... another thing about depression medication, it's not something you go on and off of. It's bad to go on and off of it. That could be something my doctor was, like, trying to scare tactic me into, but you're not supposed to just willy-nilly go on and off of it. Because it can lead to, like, worse side effects, I think is what it was. If nothing, it was working perfectly fine. The only reason I'm not continuing is because I don't have a prescription anymore. Because the clinic is not considered essential. And if for some magical reason they just never pick up my phone, that's an entirely different issue right now. Because I've called like 6 times their website, I didn't show anything, I've never seen them open. So I have nothing to believe than they are closed. And I need to get the prescription refilled. That's... If they could open up for one day, then at least I have that going for me. So, it is very frustrating for me. I don't know answers. I only have my opinion. Just as I have my opinions on lots of things. I have my opinions on donations. I have my opinions on tipping. I have my opinions on, sure. I have opinions. And I'm too stupid to not talk about them. I'm not even saying that to actually belittle myself, but legitimately, if anyone's ever going to get into this, just shut up. Don't talk about politics. Unless you're going to become a political channel, because people will never let it die. It's the easiest thing. Like, if I said I support Nixon, and then 10 years later Nixon does something stupid, people will throw it right back in your friggin' face. I genuinely, like, I supported him at the time. I can denounce someone for doing something bad later. I didn't know about it then. As an example. I don't know why I picked... Oh, I picked Nixon because of Futurama. Because Nixon does a lot of terrible things in Futurama. So... That's my stance on it. It's very frustrating to me. I feel giving hope to someone is a much better thing than tearing them down. And I feel that this entire debacle currently going on with shutting down constantly here, not in New York, not in places that need it. Here, we have a month and a half of testing. Almost no one got it. Like, the world though. What's 1,000 out of 1,000,000? Maybe 10%. If it was 10, 1%. 0.1% of people were infected by it. Sure. So, now that we've gotten that data, maybe it's time to open up. And I know people are like, yeah, but you're going to kill 300,000 more people because that's what happened with a different flu, or sorry, different virus, i.e. the Spanish flu. I think it was a virus. But then anytime you talk about the flu in comparison, people are just like, no, they're different viruses, you can't compare them. Oh, by the way, Spanish flu, which I think is H1N1. I think I saw that somewhere. Maybe, I don't know. That's what I think I saw. I could easily be wrong. Okie dokie. But that's just a statement, an opinion, or whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm frustrated because everyone's frustrated, and in turn, the stress levels are very high. I have much bigger things to worry about that affect me directly, and I can't even worry about them because I have to worry about this first. That makes me very frustrated. And then hearing that, obviously, like, you need to be cautious about things, but, and that's why I kind of brought up, like, the little thought experiment would be, there's another month, or we'll check it, if you genuinely don't feel comfortable going back to work, if you feel like, or here's a better example, if someone in your family is immune compromised, you can choose to continue receiving unemployment. Because it's still a little iffy. Or we can continue, we can go back to work. I know there's a lot of things being said. The only president who would ever say it's a liberty or they're liberating people is by making them go to work. There are a lot of people who just want to go to work. They don't feel comfortable doing nothing, so maybe you shouldn't shit on them because they have a different belief than you. Food for thought. So, enough about that. Here's something better, I'd say, to talk about. One of the things I think I'm planning on doing on YouTube, and I will absolutely bring this up in a different video. I'll post it on other things. Is some in the works of the podcast. I've got to figure out kind of what I want my first topic to be. So that's the beginning of that. That one is it's gonna show up eventually. We're gonna try that out, and obviously I'd like to have it on more platforms, but to start with, it's just gonna be on YouTube. I don't know how to put it on anything else. So it's just gonna be on YouTube. After that, one of my ideas is to I don't know why I didn't take that. What's every time you take? Sure, I guess. But the other one is I think I'm going to not take a break from Isaac, but take a break from it being daily, and splice or have other things come in there. I know that, or maybe I won't. It depends. If it's a random video, I'll try to just have a random video jabbed in. But one of the things I was thinking about was Undermine again. Undermine got new DLC. Not new DLC, another update. It's a brand new floor. I didn't even touch the last update. I think I did one episode of it. Maybe two, I don't know. Nope. So, that's one of my thoughts. Give me your feedback on that. If you don't want to, or sorry, if you're not watching this, like, I'm actually going to title this video, like, please don't watch this or something. I don't know. I genuinely don't know what I want to word this. Because, I don't know. Like, I wanted to share my opinion, and I guess for a lot of things, this is one of my primary outlet devices. Is either YouTube, Twitch. Twitch I need to be more careful about than YouTube. Because I actually need to be more careful about it on Twitch because of how Twitch is structured a little bit more. So sometimes I just need to vent things, and this is how I do it, because it's literally a form of venting. Because there's no one else can say anything about it. On Twitch, I can get the immediate feedback. At least this one, I got my vent out of the way. When I try to have these type of discussions with people, a lot of the times they don't go well, because it's just like you're met with just moronic responses. Like, as an example, I brought up, I'll bring this up quickly, it's like, I don't think waitresses need to be tipped, because most waitresses I know make wildly more money than other workers I know, most of the waitresses I know make 20, they make $15 to $25 an hour. This is anecdotal evidence. This does not mean it is ironclad. But when you complain how little money you make, and then you make twice what I make, I understand that that doesn't necessarily make it, you know, so you're all of a sudden flush with cash, but you make twice what I make, and I'm the one who needs to continue paying your paycheck. Or your defense is, I will spit in your food. If you do not pay me, I will not do my job. And that's not good. I know most of the waitresses I know have that kind of mentality. Younger, or, you know, younger, older, doesn't matter. It's both. And they're the ones that make you not want to. Like, I know it's not the biggest deal, but I want you to be thankful that I gave you extra money. I didn't have to give you extra money. But now you've made me feel bad. It's exactly what I've talked about with donations. Like, the better you do, the more I want to give you money. Or the more hardships you've had to go through, like with delivery drivers. If it's like really snowy and shitty out and they get it to me on time, I'm like, fuck yeah, you did an awesome job. If literally they brought me my pizza, I'm like, why do you want $5 in tip? You did literally the basis of your job. If I scan your items at Walmart, do I deserve a $5 tip? If I stream, are you required to give me money? And then the defense is, well, you're not required, but they're not going to help you anymore. They're not going to do their job because they're threatening me, is what you're saying. So, if someone does a good job, tip them. That's awesome. Love it. Beautiful. If they're a shithead, treat them like a shithead. Super simple. And hopefully this ends very soon. But yeah, one of the ideas I had was like doing some Undermine videos. Hopefully this doesn't make people unsubscribe. I'm always willing to listen to other sides of an argument. I don't know all the answers. I'm frustrated, and this is how I'm venting. So, thanks for listening, if you did. If you didn't, I don't know why I'm talking to you, but no hard feelings. Okay, bye.